Hello snackers, what's up? And welcome to Pretzels+Prints+Repeat, which is, well, let me explain. Saturday I posted up on my Instagram a post which may or may not have cost me 25% of my follower base, but which nonetheless felt distinctly me. And I should do that more. The reason I haven't been doing social media more is because it didn't feel like something necessary, not just for me, but for anyone. But doing something uniquely me, something that only I could do, that felt good. That felt necessary. So, yay, new feature. The idea is ideally once every week, though more likely once every when there's news of the world to discuss and comment on. I'm going to discuss the news of the world and comment on it, and hopefully get everything factually accurate. I make no claim for objectivity, which is kind of the point why I'm starting this in the first place, doing something uniquely me. Taking my subjective opinions on things, but I will try to be as accurate factually as I can be. I'll probably make mistakes, but I do have my sources in the description. Everyone has an agenda. No one's source should be relied upon. Trust but verify, all that. Dateline, Tuesday, December 12th. Break the Internet Day. Though Wreck-It Ralph 2 isn't coming out for another 344 days. Obligatory joke. Today is Break the Internet Day. See, on Thursday, Congress is voting on a proposal to repeal Title II of the Communications Act, re-killing net neutrality, giving cable and phone corporations the power again to charge whatever they want for internet service, essentially giving these companies power to restrict access to any website they want or make you pay through the nose to access some services over others, that kind of thing. I remember back in 2014, Netflix had to strike deals with Comcast and Verizon in order to speed up their connectivity on those networks, keeping them from bottlenecking or whatever, the connection speed, where connectivity should be neutral and liberal. There was/is some controversy over whether such peering is a net neutrality issue in itself, but either way, it's a pretty clear taste of what can and does happen without net neutrality laws in place. Netflix makes up about 40% of internet traffic, so it's a good metric for exactly what companies would do were they able to offer a selective service. And it's already happened, so whatever Congress votes Thursday, and let's hope they don't suck, this isn't the only change going on the internet. This change is a little further out, 6 days instead of 2, but that's close enough to tackle the subject in this episode instead of waiting a whole week for another episode, because that'll happen by that point. I don't have a Patreon. I'm thinking of getting one, ever. I'm a Patreon patron and proud of the fact, but not a creator myself at the moment. My Patreon support paid for this commission here. Look, it's me. It's flattering. I'm not that thin, though actually, yeah, I totally drew myself that thin on my blog image, I guess. So there is precedent. Monday the 18th, the Patreon fee structure is updating so that more money per pledge is going to creators. Good thing, right? Patreon uses services such as Stripe and PayPal in order to deliver money to creators, and those require fees, and Patreon needs to charge fees of its own in order to stay afloat, make coin for its own self, so it makes sense that fees exist. What's happening is Patreon is changing how these fees are processed. On Monday, pledge fees will become external to the pledge instead of as a part of that pledge. In the current system, there's some variable fee deducted off the top of promised pledges, and this change will make that fee flat and predictable, and make things more regular for the creators like a big old bowl of bran. But is this a positive change? I've looked into this. Reading mathy subjects for me is a lot like reading political arguments in the comments section. I love doing it, or I would if my brain didn't shut down immediately when I try. I find it impossible to pay attention when there's all this, math and or trolling going on. But it is fascinating to me. It's just the way my brain works that I don't quite understand it all. Reading about the Patreon update, knowing how important it is, I managed to focus long enough via several careful read-throughs to get the gist of the change. I may not be 100% correct in my understanding. Economics is weird. So once again, sources in the doodles. Double-check me, but this is what I'm getting out of this. The way I understand it is basically it's just changing the system to be more like buying wasabi peas at the grocery store. You check the price of wasabi peas, and they list the price without the tax, bop you with a 6% at the register. Well, first of all, you pay more than what was promised, and I hate that. I'd much prefer having the tax calculated into the item price in the first place, which is what Patreon had been doing. The downside in that system, where the tax is incorporated into the price of the wasabi peas, was for the wasabi pea manufacturer. The tax wasn't always consistent, skimmed unevenly, and seemingly at random off the flat price that you, the consumer, paid. Not good, obviously. Patreon decided to fix this, but no change comes without consequence. What it comes down to is this. This new update may be better allegedly for some creators, but not for all. In terms both short and long, it will scare patrons away, specifically those who want to pay more creators less money instead of focusing on one or two creators they really enjoy and giving them all the monies. It could scare some patrons off entirely. Patreon focuses their energy on FSCs, financially successful creators. FSCs are the North Star metric whom they want to optimize growth around. You can't really blame them. FSCs are the ones making money for themselves and thus for Patreon. And in addition to that, FSCs have the ability to grow the Patreon brand. These already successful creators essentially attracting more starry-eyed new creators to Patreon, like young actresses with Hollywood dreams, because, hey, that could be them. Or like young vloggers getting attracted to YouTube. Well, anyway, with FSCs as the North Star metric all policies are built around, the change in fee processing is designed to be good for them, FSCs, but it gets worse for those who aren't making as much money. It becomes simply not as worth it to be a patron paying less money to creators. The new fee system is that there's a flat 35-cent fee per pledge, regardless of payment amount. If I'm patronizing a creator for, say, $1 a month, that's 100% of my pledge going to the creator, but an additional 37.9 cents coming out of my pocket on top of the $1 pledge. That's 38% of my pledge. However, if I'm patronizing a creator for $100 a month, which actually I currently am doing IRL BTW, the 2.9% fee becomes $2.90. 35 cents reflects a mere 0.33% of the total of that pledge, and the fee represents a mere 3.25% of my declared pledge total added on top, as opposed to 38% if I'm only paying $1. Let's illustrate this with person A and person B. If person A, is supporting 100 creators for $1 each, under the old system they'd be paying the same as if they're person B, who is patronizing just one creator for $100. 100, right? Under this new system, person A is now paying $37.90 on top of the $100 they'd been paying, while person B is paying just $3.25 for supporting just one creator. A is paying $34.65 more than B just because they're into more than one thing. But hey, at least things are better for the creators. They're making 100% of the pledge amount, right? Only as I've mentioned, with this system in place, person A would be tempted to drop many of their pledges and focus more on the creators they really, really like instead of the ones they just think would be nice to see blossom. It becomes much more cost-effective to patronize few creators with macro payments than pledge micro-payments to many creators. Competition for the market space is, of course, a motivator for true greatness, but come on, guys, this is Patreon. The idea was to circumvent limited market space, create a safe haven precisely for artistic niches, which would otherwise not be monetizable. In other words, what the heck, Patreon? Do you at least test it out on a small market, receive feedback, then roll out gradually like we did with changes when I worked on Family Search? Oh, you did? Okay. Still, the change does seem a bit sudden and mandatory. In addition to all this, the new fee structure enforces this wall between creators and patrons, when a lot of people are both. What do I mean by this? I'm a patron already and proud of that fact. If I wanted to start being a creator as well, which I'm considering, most likely, under this new system, I'd have to pay out of pocket instead of being able to automatically transfer from my pool of money I make through Patreon into their pool of money that they make through Patreon, like you'd been able to do under the old system. The fee gets paid twice, which strikes me, and I'm not the only one, as inefficient. So, is this change for the better? There are pros and cons. Like I said, the creator patronizing creator thing is only most likely going to take place. And ostensibly this change will attract more creators to Patreon, with creators making more money off of Patreon. Hopefully more patrons will be attracted with them. Will they stick to those creators or branch out, or will they even come? Time will tell. Meanwhile, I've run out of things to say. This being the first episode of Pretzels+Prints+Repeat, I've never signed off before, so I don't really have any catchy, that's the way the pretzel crumble. I don't, nah.